Yep, exactly, Taylor. I mean, um, you can look at a lot of different things. You kind of base your limited knowledge that you have on teams off of kind of the preseason rankings and what those look like and in the rewind we just kind of talked about some of our teams that are ranked and kind of went through how they're playing and um, it's going to be an exciting basketball season. I think you really kind of find out who teams are, um, holiday tournament time, and then by really the middle of January, um, you're really going to know kind of who's rising to the top and who maybe is going to struggle to maybe get a wild card to go into the state tournament or something like that. So, we had a great game on the Stripe channel last night in Class A. You had Omaha Central, who was fifth in Class A in the preseason, playing Papillion La Vista, who was seventh in the Class A in preseason, and uh, Omaha Central kind of pulls away in the fourth quarter. They got Karsten Bailey. They kind of got him going in the second half, and just kind of reading in the Omaha World Herald today, he had 16 points all after halftime, and they kind of took control of that game late in the third quarter against Papillion La Vista. So um, Omaha Central is 4-1 in boys play. Their loss was the opening game of the year to Omaha South, who is second in Class A. And Papillion La Vista probably will be there as well. I think a really nice team that Coach Dan Moore has there. He was the longtime coach at North Platte before moving to Papillion a few years ago. Um, and and those are two teams along with Omaha South, along with uh, along with Norfolk. Ben Reese has got a really nice team in Norfolk this year, and he's really built a program almost up there that they're really consistent uh, year in year in and year out uh, in Class A. So I expect we'll see a lot of Omaha Central. They'll be fun to watch. On the flip side, in Class A, on the girls' side, you've got Millard West, who's ranked third, and they're kind of breaking in a new coach. I know that was kind of a cool story we had on the website
Yeah.
late last week that their students wrote that was in their student newspaper, and they're playing some young kids. I think even I made a check that I know they're starting one freshman at least, and they might be playing two more. So um, to do that on the Class A level, that's really impressive. So uh, on Friday night on the Stripe channel, I believe we'll have York and Aurora playing
Yep.
in Class B, and they were both ranked in the preseason. I believe it was Aurora seventh and York ninth, or they're both kind of in the bottom half, I think,
Aurora's
of the top
sixth.
10.
Yeah, six
Okay,
and 6 and 10 in Omaha.
6 and 10.
Yep.
So that should be a good game, a nice measuring stick. Uh, the great thing about basketball is, unlike football, York and Aurora probably play at least two more times, if not four times, maybe total in the regular season. So you're really going to see how teams improve and do things. I know Aurora had a lot of kids back from last year, and York obviously had to replace Ty Danielson, who was their scorer, and Ty's starting at UNK now. So I mean, he was obviously a big one that they had to replace. So um, we also last night on Strive had a great game with Twin River and Boone Central Newman Grove. Boone Central Newman Grove was 4-0. Twin River was 3-0. They were not ranked though in the preseason rankings, but they are now off to a 4-0 start, and Coach Heyer there has done a great job. They've kind of really established a tradition there at Twin River. They're playing really good basketball, year in and year out, and I know they've had some great battles and made the state tournament a couple times, and so that was a nice win for Twin River, and there you've got two teams who will probably be there at the end of the year, I think in their classes, and uh, In C2, we had Sutton, who was ranked on the boys' side, and in C2, and they're off. They just play uh, much like the leftover when Steve Spomberg was there. I mean, they just play one of the most difficult schedules in the state. There's nobody they don't try and go play. They played High Plains. High Plains beat them by 3. We had that game on the channel earlier a couple weeks ago, and um, they've also lost to Cross County, who's another Stripe school that's maybe off to kind of a surprising early start.
Yeah.
I think they're 3-1, I believe, and so you've got some nice things going there for Sutton, but it doesn't get any easier. I mean, they're going to play Hastings St. Cecilia on Friday, and that'll be on their Stripe channel as well. And St. Cecilia, all they've done is beat Columbus SCOTUS early in the year, and they're probably, I think they were preseason number 2, but I think if you're going to put a ranking together now, you'd probably put the Blue Hawks. At the top of C2, and you've got Southern Valley, who had a great season last year. They're fifth in C2 preseason. They're 3-1. I believe their loss was to Gothenburg, I think, in their last game out, um, and they'll play Cozad, who I think is 2-1 or 3-1. One of my old Hastings College buddies, Brian Davis, the coach for the Haymakers. So good to see those two teams playing well early as well. And so some good basketball games before Christmas. It's just there's so much more to go. That you never know. You never know who's who come the end of January, beginning of February. It's kind of like playing Incarnate Word, I guess. So you never know how much better your team might get over the course of the season. And I suppose we probably toot the Crossroad Conference's horn a little too much, but again, in both boys and girls, that's going to be one that it's just going to be really good basketball all the way through. You could see a team that might not even make it to the conference final in York at the end of January. That might be a team that goes to the state semifinals or finals in basketball. It's happened multiple times. Right now, probably you'd say the top of the CRC on the boys' side would be High Plains and Bruning Davenport Shickley. They're both undefeated. High Plains has already beat Sutton. They'll get another good test on Friday when they play Exeter Milligan. The Timberwolves, I believe, are second in D2. They're 2-1. I'm drawing a blank on who they lost to, Taylor.
Deschler, second night.
Right.
Yep.
That's right. First game off of their state championship in football, which sometimes that can be expected. Those things kind of happen. Deschler probably had 2 full weeks of practice underneath their belt, and Exeter Milligan had about 2 days of practice probably. So you've got Riverside ranked also in D2. They were 2-1 when we did the rewind, but 2-2. They lost to Fullerton last night, and Fullerton's off to a kind of, I'd say, a surprising undefeated 4-0 start. So the Warriors kind of maybe parlaying some of that success from the football field over to the basketball court. So we mentioned on the girls' side Millard West already. We have Fairbury, who is preseason 8. They have a tough early schedule as well. They're 3-2. Exeter Milligan was 5th in D2 in the preseason and is living up to that at 4-0. And then Meridian, who has obviously had a really good volleyball season as well. They're off to a 3-1 start. They were ranked 10th, and probably you could put the Twin River girls in kind of that underrated girls side. They're off to a undefeated start as well, and they handled Boone Central Newman Grove as well last night. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams progress as the season goes along. I didn't even mention Heartland. They're off. They're 4-1 with basically their whole team back last year, and they're always an interesting one for me in Class D1 because they'll play C2 and C1 schools most of the year. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond come district time because they'll probably be playing teams that they didn't play for most of the basketball season. I know they're playing they played Hampton and Exeter Milligan and Harvard early, but those are kind of when they get into their heart of their schedule, it'll be the Suttons of the world, it'll be the Sandy Creeks of the world in that Southern Nebraska conference that they play in. So a lot more still to learn on the basketball front, but it'll be a fun season. We had a lot of fun last year. We remember launched the site right when it was state basketball time, so it'll be interesting to see how these teams change moving forward.
Yeah, a lot of basketball. We've got holiday tournaments, and I think I apologize. My audio was not on at the beginning, and so none of that what I said was really important actually. So what Tony said was much more important. Um, we're going to take a quick break. This is a quick show, but we do want to provide an opportunity for our sponsors, which is Cornerstone Bank and Frontrunner Fab, who make this possible for us to do this. And so we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
All right, I want to thank Cornerstone Bank, as always, a great sponsor of ours, and you can find them on the web, cornerstoneconnect.com. All right, Tony, let's get into wrestling. I know there's a big tournament coming up, and I want you to kind of talk a little bit about that. And then you've got an article I know you've been working on pretty close to your heart and home in Grand Island as well.
Yeah, so obviously for about the past, I wish I could give you a timeline on when the Flatwater Fracas started, but Grand Island coach, former Grand Island senior high coach Mike Shadwinkle was kind of the guy who kickstarted that. He is now the head wrestling coach at Hastings College. But the Fracas, I believe maybe it's in year 7 or 8 maybe, and they'll bring in 30 teams, most of them from around the state. But I believe Smith Center, Kansas is coming, and maybe a team from Wyoming. But they'll bring in about 4 or 5 out-of-state teams as well into the tournament, and it's a 30-team dual tournament, and they have basically 6 groups of 5. 6 groups of 5, and they'll duel on Friday in their pods, and then they'll then duel based on record on Saturday. So you'll have all the first place pod winners dueling on Saturday, all the second places dueling, third place, so on and so forth. So we have 5 Strive schools who are participating in that event. We have Aurora, Central City, Madison, Syracuse, and Grand Island Northwest. So that should be really an exciting event for those kids, and it really always is. It's kind of I don't know. I guess you could say it's kind of a mini state tournament for them, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes. To give you an idea. We'll have a little preview and kind of a profile really on the Northwest Wrestling program tomorrow for the website, and just kind of a backstory on kind of what they've been through this last year. And I think readers will really enjoy what we've put together there with Coach Seabrantz. But you have in the Northwest pod tomorrow, and I don't know the other one, so I apologize, but in the Northwest pod tomorrow, they'll have Hastings, who is second in Class A preseason in the team rankings and fifth in the dual rankings. Papillion La Vista, who is seventh in the team rankings and sixth in the dual rankings. Northwest was eighth in the dual rankings preseason, and Ashland Greenwood is also in their pod. Ashland Greenwood was 10th in the dual rankings and fourth in the team rankings, and then Battle Creek is the other team in that pod. They were 5th in the team rankings and 2nd in the dual rankings. So just to give you an idea, that's one pod that somebody in that group they're all ranked in the state is probably somebody might not even win one duel on Friday afternoon and Friday evening, just to give you an idea of the competition. So I mean, it is top flight wrestling. It's wrestling that is at least state tournament caliber, and they get I think 10 mats going on the floor there at the Heartland Event Center. It's a really cool setup, and really neat to watch those kids be able to get in that atmosphere. So we're excited to kind of preview that and see where that goes and I don't know, heck, maybe if I have some free time, I might even sneak up there and watch a few matches. So, what I wanted to do too briefly was just run down those preseason rankings.
Okay.
In Class A, Millard South is the defending state champion, and they're number one. Grand Island, who's the defending dual champion, is the number one ranked dual team. So you've got really a lot of teams there in Class A as that sorts itself out. On the Strive side, Omaha Central is ranked ninth as a team there. In Class B, Perennial Power Omaha Scud is ranked first in both rankings. You have, I'm just trying to go through here. Syracuse is ranked 10th
And
in the
Tony,
overall rankings.
Tony, I'm
Yeah.
going to interrupt. Do you want to provide? I don't know if everyone knows where those rankings are at. Maybe for some of the non-wrestling fans.
Sure. Yeah, these were the preseason rankings from the Nebraska Scholastic Wrestling Coaches Association off of their website. So
Perfect.
yeah, in B then still in the dual rankings, York is fourth. Grand Island Northwest is eighth there, and as we mentioned there, and then on the team side of B, Syracuse is 10th, but they're unranked in the dual rankings. So in Class C, Central City is 7th, Wilbur Claytonia is 8th, Centennial is 9th in the team rankings, and then in the dual rankings, Central City is 3rd, Madison is 7th, Centennial 9th, and Wilbur Claytonia is 10th. And then in Class B, I'm trying to run through real quickly here. Meridian is 7th in the team rankings, and Creighton is 6th in the dual rankings. Meridian is 8th in the dual rankings, and I think that's all that we have there in the rankings. Those rankings, much like basketball, after the new year here, will get updated. Not really kind of any holiday tournament stuff that goes on the wrestling side. The Fracas will be kind of the last big thing. They'll hit the moratorium on Monday, the 5-day requirement, and then generally some practice before really hitting it hard. And usually you see those wrestlers start back up almost right away Monday and Tuesday, January like 5th, 6th, somewhere in there. They'll start back with some duels, and then obviously weekend tournaments almost all the way through mid-February when it culminates with the state tournament there. So some fun wrestling, a really unique event that they put on here in Grand Island, and if you're a fan of wrestling at all, just to come and watch that is really really a neat deal here in Grand Island that they put on. So
Awesome. All right. Why don't we jump into just kind of touching base? We posted a lot on Twitter this weekend when the all-state volleyball and football selections were announced, and just kind of there were some athletes from our Strive schools that made Super State, and just want to give shout-outs to those guys, and then we'll just kind of talk about next year a little bit and wrap things up here on our Prep Huddle Live. Remember, use the hashtag Prep Huddle Live if you got any comments, want to ask us questions, and we'll bring those right into the show.
Absolutely. Briefly, I'll start with volleyball. Of course, on the volleyball side, on the team side, we had Exeter Milligan into the finals of Class D2, which is really our only finalist there in the volleyball side. But on the all-state list there, we had Allison Penner of Aurora, who's a Division I recruit. Obviously, she was named to Class B all-state list, and then in Class D2. Exeter Milligan had Amber Pribble named to the Class D2 All-State team, and Meridian had Blair Hofstetter named to of the All-State team. And as far as first team goes from Strive Schools, those 3 athletes were the only 3 named to the All-State list. It gets a little bit crazier when we click on the football list, Taylor.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and we don't need to run through all those. Everyone's looked at those, but
yeah, but
maybe
we've
just the
had,
super state guys.
yeah, of course we had 34 athletes named to the All State, All Class, All State, Super State team. So um, those included Wyatt Mazur of Boone Central, who was named the All State quarterback, All Class quarterback, and I've been meaning to send a message to Stu Pospisil this week. I don't know when the last time a non A or B quarterback was named the Super State quarterback.
Great question.
And it'll be interesting to find out when the last time that happened was.
Hey,
We
Tony, your
actually
video is showing pause, I think, when you go to a different screen. So, and you
okay.
can cover
I
up.
apologize.
That's all right.
There you go. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We actually, we said 3, and it's probably only because they're the 3 guys we've interacted with on Twitter
Yeah.
so much. But
There's 5, yeah.
So you had Deshaun Neal from Omaha Central, Wyatt Mazur from Boone Central, and Bryce Lyons from McCook, who's the All-State kicker. But we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Xavier Graham from Omaha Central, as well as Trey Sanders, who was a Super State running back as well. So a lot of good kids there, a lot of talent in this state in football this year. This year it seems like, and again, as we mentioned, in total, 34 football players from Strive Schools were named to the their all state list. Just to give you a quick rundown, maybe of some additional recognition. Missouri was named the honorary captain of the C1 offense, and in Class D2, Kyle Jensen was named the honorary offensive captain from Exeter Milligan, and Dustin Axline from Exeter Milligan was named the honorary captain for defense in Class D2. I believe the Timberwolves put 5 players on the D2 All-State team. They obviously won the state championship. And let me just find that real quick because that's at least worth mentioning. So they put Brock Mueller, Kyle Jensen on offense, and on defense they put Derek Lusum. Hopefully I spelled that right. Dustin Axline. 4 players. I apologize. So they have 4 players on there in D2 with them from Strive School. Brandon Jackson from Meridian was also named to the D2 team in 6-man, and those are actually selected by the 6-man Coaches Association. We had actually 6 players from Riverside on both sides, and Jake Kennedy from Riverside was the defensive honorary captain there. So we'll try to keep people up to date. Kind of the fun things that happen in early January, or maybe January, February time frame, is we'll see 8-man All-Star game participants come out. Sure to be a lot of Strive kids there. We'll see the Shrine Bowl come out, the Western Nebraska All-Star game. So that'll be fun to kind of follow those kids and see what else where else football takes them as we move forward. But again, we had spoiled rotten brats, probably is what you could call us when we cover football. So 34 all-state kids, and we just had a great time with football, whether we were on the sideline at Henderson or Fullerton or Aurora or York, and great coaches and great kids to work with, and no leaked audio from these guys. That's why high school football and high school sports is so fun. It's not a multi-million-dollar business. It's guys who are trying to get the best out of kids and teach them how that can carry them on in life. So that's why high school football to me is so much fun. So
absolutely. I want to thank real quick, and then we'll wrap things up. Frontrunner Fab out of Fullerton, Nebraska. if your school's in need of some new seating, bleachers, movable bleachers, these guys are the people to call. They've been great sponsors of us for us this fall and continue through the winter. So give them a call there, 308-550-0151. Well, let's wrap up the show, Tony. Final thoughts going into the holidays here, and we'll hit the ground running. I kind of wanted just to mention those of you that if we got some people watching live or probably more watching the recording, if you guys have any stories, that you think would fit well at our Strive schools here coming up in January and February, and maybe into track as well, and golf as boys golf gets started, please reach out to us and let us know. We want to help share those stories, and that's our vision, our motto. We continue to do and provide some video interviews as well, get to know the kids and and coaches as well through some video format as well. So just let us know, tweet us, or shoot us an email. You can find that or fill out the contact form on strivesports.com. So.
Yeah, very cool. I would just say, we'll just continue to try to interact with our followers on Twitter and Facebook, and I know that you're going to do some neat things for schools during the holiday tournament there at Henderson, about how you can learn about streaming and in doing some things for your school if there's interest. And the other thing that I think as we continue to grow, that my last spot would be is that once you play a sport at a Strive school, you are automatically a Strive lifer. And so it's been really neat for me kind of the last couple weeks just to give a couple shout outs to kids who went to Strive schools. Kyle Emanuel, who played football at Schuyler, won the football championship series defensive player of the year. They call it the Buck Buchanan Award. He plays football at North Dakota State, and they are still playing. They'll actually play Friday night. So you can have maybe Strive on your laptop, maybe ESPN2 on your television if you're not in a gym, or if you're not at the Heartland Event Center, or maybe you can have one on your phone while you're at a gym. But anyway, they'll play Sam Houston State in the FCS semifinals on ESPN2 on Friday night. And the other one that's really been neat to watch, because we follow her on Twitter, is Shatrice White from Shelby Rising City. I think at least twice she's been named the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, and she's playing basketball at Illinois right now, and they'll obviously come to Lincoln 4 times probably, or maybe not 4 based on the scheduling, but a few times during her career. And so that's kind of a really neat story that's been fun for us. And as Strive kids sign to play, as they sign to play volleyball or football or basketball, that's stuff that's important to us as well. And we'll certainly try to keep our people up to date on what kids who are at Strive schools are doing now as well.
Yeah, I think that'll be the most fun part as we grow this, is like the Wyatt Mazurs and Deshaun Neals that we were able to cover, and even Ty Danielson now looking at his career, and we got to kind of cover him. That will be a lot of fun just to share what those guys are doing at the next level, and that's what it's all about, is building those relationships with those kids and help promote what they're doing and promote their talents. So last thing is our next show will be January 7th at 7:30, and we'll get back on the routine of every Wednesday night. And hopefully you like this new format. It's a little more laid back. It's a lot easier for us as far as production time. We're bringing Tony in. There's no delay on a Google Hangout. It may limit some interviews that we do, and we may switch it back and forth sometimes depending on the interviews. Thinking about bringing in coaches, athletes just via audio instead of video, so it's a bit cleaner. So we'd love your guys' feedback on that, and keep helping us share what we're doing. I think I looked at the stats, and we've gained well over almost 300 Twitter followers since school started. So we appreciate the love on Twitter that you've shown us at Strive Sports, and continue to do that. We've got several schools that use the hashtag Strive Sports when they're posting scores. A lot of the extra million folks appreciate that. It's just been fun to see that grow, and couldn't do it without you guys. So that's all I got. If you don't have anything else, Tony, we'll sign off here just a little bit after 8 p.m. You guys hopefully have a great rest of your Wednesday evening, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas next week. Thanks, guys.